Actually, I like what just happened there.
Oh,
so
lost it.
You did?
Yeah. What was your airspeed?
100 indicated.
So that can't happen for real. We're practicing with an all-new gimbal system on the A-Star, and our test subject is a vintage Warbird. Ultimately, the pressure is high to get this dialed in. We're the only photo chase plane allowed at AirVenture this year, and we're going to have 6 minutes to capture the newest all-electric aircraft flying the world's biggest air show.
Boss, Beta 1 will be entering the box from the north in 15 seconds. Beta 1, roger, cleared in, box is yours.
All right, he's coming in. He's on my nose.
Negative still.
Okay, stand by. Your frame is good.
We've got one brief chance to get the best shots we possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more of those head-on shots, so he's going to dive back down.
This airplane flew a long way to get here, and Ella was one of the crew members that ferried it from Vermont.
We just want people to be able to see it flying every day.
The crew are just young CFIs. They're like 23-year-olds, even younger. Hollis is how old?
21.
Hollis is 21. So one of the crew members of this thing is 21. And while I was flying my airplane and getting some footage, they were just taking this thing out to do pattern work. So this airplane is on the flight line, operational. It's not like a theoretical prototype.
I flew the RV-14 to meet up with this crew near Chicago where they were staging for a few days.
I'm Hollis Munson. I'm a CFII MEI. I've been flying for the past 5 years. I'm 20 years old, about to turn 21.
And despite how precious it might seem, it was pretty cool to be embedded with this crew, watching them operate this airplane normally in real-world conditions. So this is EAA AirVenture. I'm proud to display the RV-14 here, and it will be there again at IAC in 2026. Stick around to the end and I'll share some tips about flying into here, but that's a whole other story. This one is about what it was like to be embedded with the crew of one of the newest all-electric aircraft in existence. This is Alia, the CX-300. They've been flying these things all over the world, and the trip to get here was actually further than mine. I came from the Toronto area, cleared customs in Detroit, and then the plan was to meet up with the crew in Chicago for a few days while they practiced with that new gimbal system. It wasn't lost on me that during this trip I was seeing some pretty challenging conditions in terms of convective IFR flying, and I was thinking that the CX-300 crew had to fly through the same stuff and a fair bit further just a few days before, and then they were going to be doing the same thing I was doing, getting from Chicago to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for the air show. Anyway, the story that I was heading out there to capture was about being embedded with the crew and learning how they fly to get the air-to-air photo ship stuff done and just seeing how they operate in general. I kind of wish I filmed this flight because it was an interesting one, dealing with IFR ops, lots of heading mode steers for vectors to deviate around some of these buildups. ATC was super helpful to accommodate, but no question I felt some pressure as I had barely timed this flight correctly. I watched these cumulus build in real time right in front of me, and they were quite bumpy, and it was clear the altitude that I thought was good to be on top wasn't going to work for much longer.
Made it to Aurora, and look who else is here.
And we immediately needed to get the airplanes into shelter.
There is some mean weather coming. Glad I got ahead of this.
I was able to get the RV-14 tucked into a hangar, but Alia was too big for that, and the only space they could find was the awning near the FBO, which really wasn't fully protected, so I ran over with the crew to check on the airplane.
So just working with you guys for the past couple of days, it was pretty cool to see how young you are. Like, I think a lot of people think when it's the new, prototype, don't let anybody that doesn't have a zillion years of experience touch it. And you guys are just rocking. Like, I couldn't believe, you're just flying patterns, just total normal ops.
Is this the worst storm you guys have had her in?
This trip, yeah.
And you seem super comfortable with it at this point?
Yeah.
Like, how's that work?
I think the big difference is that it's no longer a flight test vehicle. It's no longer brand new things all the time. It's no longer figuring out the envelope and learning how the plane reacts. It's a plane now. So it flies like an airplane. We're able to operate it under normal ops and do kind of anything that we would be doing in a Cessna Caravan together.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not building an airplane that only flight test pilots can fly. And you've got to test it with normal, less experienced pilots. And I think that's where you're going to get a lot of the comments and find a lot of things that we can improve on and really, test it where it's going to be operated and with who it's going to be operated by.
Yeah, that's just it, right? You guys are out there in the real world just flying it. And now you're planning a flight to Oshkosh with it like any other, like we're just comparing notes. I'm going to fly an RV, you guys are going to fly the most unique new aircraft that exists, basically. and we're just having the same conversation about it, and it's pretty cool that that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need to do to prove it and to test it.
It does feel a little surreal. You know, we've both seen the days where it was a very heavily flight test vehicle. And I think for us to get to watch over the past 3-4 years, it transitioned from needing a crew to operate and monitor and all that to us being honored and trusted with taking it on the road and just putting her through its paces. I think that it's a really cool, I guess, evolution of the company and the aircraft itself.
Ella and I jumped into the RV-14 to act as a target before I got on board the photo ship for the next flight to see how they capture these awesome shots. So the guys are back there briefing for a photo flight. We're going to be flying with a gimbal on the A-Star. Ultimately, this is what we're going to be doing with Alia and a bunch of other airplanes, but today the ceiling is a bit low, so we're not flying Alia. Just going to get some practice done with the T6.
Is he just going to hover taxi over to the runway? Yep. Okay.
For this one, Hollis went for the ride in the target plane.
So this shows me this is like a kind of a segment view. What did you call it? A segment view, Cody?
It's like looking in your sectors, I guess.
Sector view, yeah.
Relatively.
If I need like the additional SA, I can see like, okay, you know, he's off our 1 o'clock. I can just quickly spin the camera over there, and I'm kind of controlling all of it with these sensitivities. So if I want to pan quickly, I just turn this up. You know, if I need to get somewhere, and then I can also just push it to like a forward position.
That's cool.
Cody is the A-Star pilot, and he has a monitor up front so we can see Jerry's frame.
All right, I'm just going to cross and push a little bit over to his right side. I'm full left pedal right now, so I got to slow down a little bit before I can...
looks like he's lined up and waiting.
And of course, Jerry is the gimbal operator.
Not only did Kyle kind of stalk flight chops at previous Oshkosh, but we also got introduced to flight chops from, where's Jerry, our videographer? Where is he? Okay, little baby. That really kind of stalked flight chops of coming to help tell the story about this new electric aviation.
Nope, he's on the roll.
Huge thanks to Jerry for inviting me to be an embedded team member. So this was still early days for Jerry and Cody working on this, but I mean, this shot was pretty awesome to see happen in real time.
Perfect. That was awesome.
I could do that all day.
That is pretty cool. All right, let's go get him.
This practice is prep for the high stakes the crew is about to face, and it was fun to meet the team members in a more chill environment before the intensity of the air show.
I'm Ella Brisen. I'm a 26-year-old flight instructor at Beta Technologies, as well as an Alia pilot and a curriculum developer. I've been flying for about 8 years and instructing for about 3.
After she and Hollis ferried the airplane here, it was Pooter that was going to fly the first show.
What's really cool, you know, we've got our very first CX number 1 916 Lima Fox that was originally a cargo that is now passenger. On static display here, the team flew it in from Vermont.
And I can speak personally to how it flies because I flew it.
You did fly that aircraft,
twice.
and you landed it twice with very minimal coaching. The YouTube videos you're putting out are you know, just epic, right?
Well, I mean, I'm happy to share authentically what it's like to have these type of experiences, right? So it's just the real deal. It's how it feels, and I'm sharing what it's like to learn this stuff.
We couldn't be more humbled and proud to have Flight Chops be one of our very first, you know, trained pilots and going through the curriculum. It's really important for us to be able to tell the story to the future aviators of the world, what the future of aviation looks like, feels like, you know, and flies like.
Just hold this. Now, just like any airplane, we're looking long down the runway. I'll let those bumps smooth out.
And as Steve was describing, in direct law, the aircraft is very stable, has good stability coefficients. And that means that the aircraft's behavior, like upon stall or upon correction or overcorrection, you end up coming back to neutral in general, or you stall and the nose drops nicely, it doesn't depart controlled flight. We decided that even though we have a fly-by-wire system, we were going to make an inherently stable aircraft, so it needed no augmentation on top of the fly-by-wire system, which ironically grossly simplifies the software necessary to control the plane. In fact, it goes to direct law, proportional law. You put in this much, it puts out that much.
A little more context about these airplanes before we get back on board the photo ship.
Let's talk about the VTOL. I know that's the ultimate evolution.
You're on the short list to come back and learn to fly that one.
So the question is, in the VTOL, do you get similar performance on gliding? Not only is this thing a great glider as a CTOL, it's a pretty darn good glider as a VTOL. It's still better than most planes that you would have flown, turbine planes or otherwise, as a VTOL gliding.
And CTOL means conventional takeoff and landing, and that's what the 6-minute air show is going to be all about. So let's get back on board practicing to capture it.
Tell Hollis to open his canopy.
Hey, Hollis, open your canopy.
Did you smoke on?
Do you guys have any smoke left? Affirm. Smoke on.
Yo!
Alright, hold there, right there. Go smoke off.
Smoke off.
Nice, I'm good.
Alright, I think we're good here if you want to climb up and find a hole.
That's cool.
Olive. It's like riding a roller coaster. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I see the vortices now. Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
That's really awesome.
What's doing that?
It's making vapor because of the compression.
Yeah, it was backlit just enough.
Yeah, it happens in high humidity.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Another team member that we'll meet in more detail when we're actually at AirVenture shooting the show is Brian. He's the still photographer that got those cool vapor prop trails.
I'm just spacing back a little bit because I'm not sure what he's going to do to maneuver to keep VFR. It's looking really good, so
Yeah.
I was just giving him a little bit of space, but
And honestly, more space looks better. Yellow plane and these huge clouds, like, this is an awesome shot.
yeah, I'm looking at your display. It looks like it's working pretty
It's
good.
really cool.
What we captured next is a great example of something that can't happen during the show.
Do you want smoke for this, or do you think it's just going to get lost?
I don't think we're going to see it, but, I mean, we should just try it.
Yeah, we'll use smoke for this. Okay, we'll go smoke on while we dive in.
Actually, I like what just happened there, so.
Lost it.
You did?
Yeah. What was your airspeed?
100 indicator. That must be, you're losing about 5 knots when you pan down.
Okay.
So let's do that, but let's try to stack low so we don't have to descend.
All right.
And this is why they practice when the stakes are low, because Jerry and Cody have to really coordinate where the camera's looking and what the airspeeds are.
I'm doing about 89 now, so I slowed way up.
This thing's not behaving correctly. Yeah, I don't know. I think we need to land, dude.
Okay.
Knock it off.
All right, sounds good.
Cody and Jerry continued to practice, and after a few more flights, including the one chasing Ella and I, they had it dialed in. Next, it was time to pack up and reposition the whole crew to Oshkosh.
Yeah, it's just an hour for me, so I'm gonna probably leave here around noon or 1.
Yeah.
Go straight to Apple.
Easy.
But I'm burning gas.
Step 1 for every pilot flying into AirVenture, study the notice.
Let's get that into ForeFlight. Oh yeah, it feels real now. The Oshkosh NOTAM is downloaded.
Okay, so as promised, I want to share some top tips and gotchas for flying into AirVenture. First off, definitely study the notice. Plan to stage somewhere close to the start of the procedure so you can get fully fueled up after your cross country, get a little bit of rest, and then brief the departure procedure in case you have to go around with no clear instructions of how to get out of there and you might be holding for a while. Try to plan to not go on one of the most busy times. Typically the Sunday afternoon is the worst. If the weather forces it, it is what it is, but it can be quite crowded. And I don't recommend doing it solo. It's best to have a second set of eyes, even if they're not a pilot. But in this case, I went to Appleton first to pick up a friend of mine who's also a pilot to join me for the Fisk Arrival to make it safer.
Appleton arrivals and departures. Okay, so you can either check in at the lake. So we're coming up from kind of the southeast. So for us, it might be easier to route around the lake and...
Go to New London? Or just come in and just say I'm calling you from...
Or just try and call them from the east, and then if they want us to go up to New London. The other thing we could do is we could climb and shoot over the Fisk Arrival.
That was my plan, assuming that I was doing this. I was going to go high and then descend into one of these 2 points, get above all the craziness at Osh, because they'll be as high as 2,300, but they theoretically shouldn't be above 2,300
Yeah.
doing the arrival. Most of them will be at 18, right? Doing the low, slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then shoot over that.
And then
I think so too, because you know everyone's going to be over here, and if they want us to shoot northwest, then we'll just do that.
And then the Warbird Arrival is out here, here. So
It's out over Fond du Lac. Yeah.
And here's a couple more of the beauty shots the team pulled off with the crew from Gambit Aviation, there who hosted us out here in Chicago. The practice was definitely worthwhile, and the next episode coming next week right before AirVenture 2026 is going to share the payoff. And here's a little scene from that, sharing the culmination of all this work.
This will be another head on.
I think the sun will stay out for this whole take. Actually super helpful to know because it's changing my exposure so much.
Yep, you're good. It's not going to be a cloud.
And until the next one, keep your flight chops sharp.
That was sweet. That was so fun. Thank you so much. Little cloud surfing? Yeah.